Lesson 4, Reading, Mr. Torkelson. Jim Mayfield tells about a world traveler he knows and likes.
I want to tell you about a friend of mine. He's the most interesting man I've ever met. He comes into the travel agency every once in a while to pass the time of day. His name is Ted Torkelson. I think he must be about 85 years old by now. He has lived a very interesting and exciting life. He's been everywhere and he has done everything. He ran away from home in Norway when he was 12 years old. He joined a circus and traveled all over Europe. Then he became a sailor in Genoa and went to the Far East. He has had a lot of exciting experiences. He has learned to speak 5 or 6 languages well. He can speak Norwegian, French, Italian, Turkish, Chinese, and English. He knows a little Greek and Burmese, too. I think he has ridden every kind of animal there is. He has ridden camels, llamas, and horses. He has traveled all over Burma on an elephant. He has had some really exciting adventures while riding animals. In his travels about the world, he has eaten almost everything there is to eat. He has eaten strange and wonderful things in Japan, in China, in Germany, Syria, Peru, Afghanistan, and Tibet. He says he has eaten llama meat, 1,000-year-old eggs, and many other things I've never heard of. Sometimes I don't know whether to believe him or not. I've never heard so many interesting and exciting tales from one old man. Children love to listen to his stories, and so do I.
Now listen to the reading again.
I want to tell you about a friend of mine. He's the most interesting man I've ever met. He comes into the travel agency every once in a while to pass the time of day. His name is Ted Torkelson. I think he must be about 85 years old by now. He has lived a very interesting and exciting life. He's been everywhere, and he has done everything. He ran away from home in Norway when he was 12 years old. He joined a circus and traveled all over Europe. Then he became a sailor in Genoa and went to the Far East. He has had a lot of exciting experiences. He has learned to speak 5 or 6 languages well. He can speak Norwegian, French, Italian, Turkish, Chinese, and English. He knows a little Greek and Burmese, too. I think he has ridden every kind of animal there is. He has ridden camels, llamas, and horses. He has traveled all over Burma on an elephant. He has had some really exciting adventures while riding animals. In his travels about the world, he has eaten almost everything there is to eat. He has eaten strange and wonderful things in Japan, in China, in Germany, Syria, Peru, Afghanistan, and Tibet. He says he has eaten llama meat, 1,000-year-old eggs, and many other things I've never heard of. Sometimes I don't know whether to believe him or not. I've never heard so many interesting and exciting tales from one old man. Children love to listen to his stories, and so do I.
Practice drills and exercises. 1. Short comments with so. Repeat after speaker B.
1. I know Mr. Torkelson.
So do I.
2. I met him in Italy.
So did I.
3. Tom starts his vacation tomorrow.
So does Bill.
4. I'd like to travel.
So would most people.
5. They've been everywhere.
So have we. Take the part of speaker B. Use I as the subject. Listen to the model.
1. I've been in China.
So have I.
So have I.
So have I.
Now do the exercise.
1. I've been in China.
So have I.
2. I went to Greece last year.
So did I.
3. I can speak 6 languages.
So can I.
4. I could tell some interesting stories.
So could I.
5. I've had a lot of interesting experiences.
So have I.
6. I like to travel.
So do I.
7. I visited Thailand a few years ago.
So did I.
8. I'm going around the world next year.
So am I.
9. I was a sailor when I was young.
So was I.
2. Irregular participle in relative clause. Substitute. Listen to the models.
Do.
I'm going to do something I've never done before.
I'm going to do something I've never done before.
I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Eat.
I'm going to eat something I've never eaten before.
I'm going to eat something I've never eaten before.
I'm going to eat something I've never eaten before.
Now you do the exercise.
Do.
I'm going to do something I've never done before.
Eat.
I'm going to eat something I've never eaten before.
See.
I'm going to see something I've never seen before.
Make.
I'm going to make something I've never made before.
Read.
I'm going to read something I've never read before.
Say.
I'm going to say something I've never said before.
Wear.
I'm going to wear something I've never worn before.
Write.
I'm going to write something I've never written before. Three. Have you? Haven't you? Take the part of speaker B. Listen to the model.
1. I've written a book.
Have you?
Have you?
Have you?
Now you do the exercise.
1. I've written a book.
Have you?
2. Jim's never written a poem.
Hasn't he?
3. I've never been to South America.
Haven't you?
4. Mary's learned to speak Arabic very well.
Has she?
5. They've never been on a train.
Haven't they?
6. I've eaten some strange things in my life.
Have you?
7. Mr. Morrison's never seen a movie.
Hasn't he?
4. Using the simple past and present perfect tenses. Take the part of speaker B. Give an affirmative answer in the past tense, being sure to use a definite time in the past, such as an hour ago, yesterday, last year, 10 minutes ago, on Monday, a little while ago, etc. Listen to the models.
1. Have you seen Tom recently?
Yes, I saw him downtown yesterday.
2. Have you taken a vacation this year?
Yes, I took one in August. Now you do the exercise.
3. Have you seen the new movie at the Palace Theater? 4. Have you eaten breakfast yet? 5. Have you done all your errands?
6. Have you ever met Mr. Wilson? 7. Have you ever been in a travel agency? 8. Have you ever seen a circus? 9. Have you ever bought a radio? 10. Have you taken any trips recently?
5. The best book I've ever read, the most exciting trip I've ever taken, etc. Take the part of speaker B. Answer in the affirmative, as in the models.
1. Was the book interesting?
Yes, it was the most interesting book I've ever read.
2. Was your dinner good? Meal.
Yes, it was the best meal I've ever eaten.
3. Do you like your car?
Yes, it's the finest car I've ever owned. Now you do the exercise.
4. Was the lecture interesting? 5. Is Tom lazy? Boy. 6. Was the book long? 7. How was your trip? 8. Did you play a good game? 9. Was the movie exciting? 10. Is your job interesting? 11. How did you like the circus? 12. Is Mary pretty? Girl. 13. Didn't you have a party recently?
6. Questions to answer.
1. Have you ever ridden a horse?
2. Have you ever driven a car?
3. How long have you studied English?
4. Do you like your job?
5. Have you ever lived in Europe?
6. Did you like the last movie you saw?
7. What was the best movie you've ever seen?
8. How long have you worked at your present job?
9. What have you bought recently?
10. What's the best book you've ever read?
11. Have you eaten in a restaurant in the last month?
12. Have you heard any good jokes recently?
13. What's the best joke you've ever heard?
14. What's the most exciting experience you've ever had?
15. Have you read many books in your lifetime?
16. Have you ever given a lecture?
17. Have you ever taken aspirin?
18. Have any of your friends ever taken a trip around the world?
19. Have you ever met any famous people?
20. How long have you known your teacher?
21. Have you ever joined a circus?
22. What's the best TV program you've ever seen?
23. Who's the most interesting person you've ever met? 'Pronunciation. Consonant plus ul. Initial clusters. Repeat these words.
Glad. Glad. Clock. Clock. Blade. Blade. Play. Play. Flu. Flu.
Now listen. Glad. Clock. Blade. Play. Flu. Repeat these contrasts.
Glass. Class. Glass. Class. Blade. Played. Blade. Played. Flight. Plight. Flight. Plight. Blow. Glow. Blow. Glow. Glass. Grass. Glass. Grass. Blue. Brew. Blue. Brew. Fly. Fry. Fly. Fry. Clues. Cruise. Clues. Cruise.
Now listen. Glass. Class. Blade. Played. Flight. Plight. Blow. Glow. Glass. Grass. Blue. Brew. Fly. Fry. Clues. Cruise. Repeat these phrases.
A blue clock. A blue clock. A clean glass. A clean glass. A glass floor. A glass floor. A flat plate. A flat plate. A plain blouse. A plain blouse. A black brush. A black brush. A brown glass. A brown glass. A gray plate. A gray plate. A plain dress. A plain dress. A dry block. A dry block. Fly a plane. Fly a plane. Plant a crop. Plant a crop. Plan a trip. Plan a trip. Break a glass. Break a glass. Bring a blouse. Bring a blouse. Now listen.
A blue clock. A clean glass. A glass floor. A flat plate. A plain blouse. A black brush. A brown glass. a gray plate, a plain dress, a dry block, fly a plane, plant a crop, plan a trip, break a glass, bring a blouse. Listening practice. Only one of the statements in each group is true. Listen to the selection. It will be read only once, and then check the true statement. Selection 1. Paris.
Betty Clark. Betty Clark's planning to go to Paris next summer. She's studied French for 3 years, and she speaks it very well. She has always wanted to go to France, but she's never had enough time and money to go. Many of her friends have been to France, and her brother Tom just came back from Paris last week. He was there for 8 months.
Listen to the following statements. Check only the one that is true.
1. Betty's never been to Paris. 2. Betty's brother came back from Paris 8 months ago. 3. Betty's just come back from Paris.
You should have checked number 1.
Selection 2. Morrison Travel Agency. Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson wanted to take the train to San Francisco. He called the Morrison Travel Agency and told them he wanted reservations on the train leaving Chicago on June 29th. This afternoon, he went to the travel agency and talked with Mr. Mayfield. Mr. Mayfield explained to him that the train was full on the 29th and that he couldn't get reservations for that day. He said that it would be possible to get reservations for June 30th. Mr. Johnson said that would be fine.
Listen to the following statements. Check only the one that is true. 1. Mr. Mayfield got reservations for Mr. Johnson on June 29th. 2. Mr. Johnson was planning to take a trip to Chicago. 3. It was not possible to get reservations on the June 29th train. You should have checked number 3.
Selection 3. Susan buys a train ticket from Chicago to New York.
Susan.
How much is the coach fare to New York?
One way or round trip?
One way.
$32.85.
Is there an afternoon train?
Yes, it leaves at 4:30 p.m. All coach seats are reserved on that train.
And what time does it arrive in New York?
At 8 a.m.
I'd like one ticket, please.
All right. Here you are. You have seat 21 in car 4031.
But this ticket is for today. I don't want to go today. I want to leave tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you told me you wanted a ticket for today.
Oh, no, I didn't say that.
Oh, very well. Here you are. You have seat 17 in car 2037 on tomorrow's train. I hope you enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Now, listen to these statements and check the true statement. 1. Susan bought a round-trip ticket.
2. The train takes 24 hours to go from Chicago to New York.
3. At first, Susan did not say she wanted to leave for New York the next day.
4. The ticket seller became very angry.
You should have checked statement number 3.
End of Lesson 4.